In my last video, I covered what I believed was all of the extinct creatures in the Elder Scrolls universe. It was a deep dive into the weird and wonderful creatures lost to war, greed, and time. But there is a creature that should have been considered: flying whales. Before getting into the creatures, I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about the normal whales. While they aren't extinct, I do find them fascinating, and perhaps you will too. Now, whales are massive aquatic mammals found in the Abyssinian Sea and the Sea of Ghosts, just north of Skyrim. They're known to eat razorfish, are described as having large swimming fins, and much like the whales in our world, are seen expelling water from their blowholes as they surface to breathe. Naturally, where there are whales, there are whale hunters, or whalers. Out in the Abyssinian Sea, whalers are known to use hook poles to hunt them down. Once hunted, whalebone is put to good use by the Red Guards of Stros Mackay, who carve it into whistles, dice cups, and even toothpicks. There's also whale oil, which has its uses and could be turned into wax for belt buckles, among other such things. That's how the Red Guards put them to use, but they're not the only ones with a connection to whales, as there's a certain tale from ancient Orcish folklore. The Seamount clan is said to have tamed killer whales in the Abyssinian Sea, turning the wild creatures into war mounts. Orc riders would launch harpoons from the backs of these beasts, using their strength to drag enemy ships beneath the water and steer them into other ships for maximum damage. While the orcs made whales into living weapons, others found different ways to engage with the creatures. Up in the Sea of Ghosts, sea giants hunt whales lurking beneath the ice. They use harpoons made of wood and bone, not to kill, but to drag the whales into the shallow water, where half a dozen or more sea giants would leap into action, wrestling the whales by hand. Once captured, the giants would use every last part of the creature, eating the flesh and turning the bones into armor. As you can see, whales have appeared many times over, but they have left their mark in more ways than one. For there's an island called Whale Fall, named for the sheer number of whale bones scattered across its shores. The Reach folk are known to decorate their homes with these bones, but whales aren't just used in practical ways or remembered in stories, they also carry deep spiritual meaning. In Nordic tradition, the whale represents Stun, the god of ransom, fraternity, and justice. Stun is one of the ancient hearth gods who watch over the present cycle, having fought against the Old Mary and taught humanity the value of taking prisoners. Weapons named after Stun were once forged in Harfingar, places like Solitude, where unique crafting sites imbued gear with special properties, allowing warriors to bypass their enemies' defenses. These items were believed to have been touched by divine creativity associated with whales. As you can see, the whale is a powerful figure. Some Nords perform a rite of the whale before fishing to improve their odds, and some Nords say the phrase, "by the whale." It's a common exclamation used by people to invoke the gods. It's similar to us saying, "oh my god," showing us again how important whales are to Nords. Clearly they play a major role in Nord culture, but not all of them are bound to the sea. Some are said to soar through the skies, like the snow whales of Skyrim. According to Nordic folklore, snow whales live above the skies of Skyrim, atop the highest mountains, jumping from peaks to clouds and back again, singing in magical tones and releasing joy snow from their blowholes. This joy snow isn't just poetic, it's narcotic. It sends people into fits of euphoria, makes them forget what they were doing, and reduces their minds to childlike states. Hunters caught in it would burst into laughter at crude jokes and completely forget what they were there to do in the first place, with some of them losing their balance and falling down the mountains, sometimes to their death. Despite this danger, snow whales were once hunted. The Nords sent their best climbers to brave the peaks with ropes and hooked spears. Snow whales had meat, blubber, and mysterious fluids used to make paint and rose water. I couldn't find any mention of rosewater in the games, but it might refer to ambergris, a waxy, flammable substance produced in the digestive system of sperm whales, which has a musky, earthy, and sometimes fecal aroma. Yummy. It's not actually water made from roses, but it is used in perfumery. The effects of the joy snow proved too potent for the Nords, and hunting them became impossible. Not due to danger, but because no one could stay focused long enough to finish the job. Over time, the creatures have disappeared. Maybe with the return of dragons, they were consumed, or perhaps they didn't really exist in the first place. And that mystery leads us nicely on to something even stranger. Because snow whales aren't alone, they've got desert-dwelling cousins, sand whales. This is interesting because it could disprove the existence of snow whales. Sand whales are totally imperceivable without a special concoction. There's a quest in Elder Scrolls Online where you have to gather ingredients for Vigwin Owlwatcher, a drug-addled Nord chemist. You can help Vigwin recover her lost supply of whale-watching juice. However, while there's still some of the elixir inside the almost empty bottles, the chemist explains she doesn't have enough for you to use it, so you can't see the whales yourself. So, we can't prove they exist. Nor can you confirm the sky mammoths of Hammerfell she also mentions, said to graze upon the clouds over Sentinel. Sadly, before Vigwin can make any more, she says she needs to return to Skyrim, to a cave that descends deep into the earth. We don't know where the cave is, or what ingredient she wants to collect. Maybe Crimson Nirnroot? But it is interesting that both snow and sand whales involve psychoactive substances. Are the whales actually real, or are they only visible while hallucinating? And I feel this is close to the truth, as some scholars believe flying whales are just a cultural metaphor for the transition from Nirn to Aetherius, the Elder Scrolls equivalent of the spirits leaving Earth and going to heaven. It's funny they believe that because in Sovngarde, the Nordic afterlife, heroes who prove their worth by defeating Sun, the Nordic god of trials, can cross the bridge made of whalebone to reach the Hall of Valor, where they can fight and feast with their ancestors for eternity. Could certain drug-induced states allow people in the mortal realm to see this transition? That is, people crossing the whalebone bridge, but they cannot fully comprehend what it is they are seeing, and the brain shows them flying whales to compensate. While flying whales have yet to be confirmed, they've more than enough earned their place in the previous video. They blur the line between folklore, faith, and hallucination, glimpses, perhaps, of something higher and stranger than we can explain. Then again, if Elder Scrolls 6 really is set in Hammerfell, like many believe, maybe we'll finally get to see flying whales, and flying mammoths too, with or without a little help from certain substances.